Hello everyone, I got a request on Patreon recently from Ryan. He wanted me to talk about the direct-to-video DreamWorks animation movie, Joseph, King of Dreams. There was a time when the direct-to-video animated film market was extremely lucrative. Disney was obviously a big player with their sequels, and Universal also joined in with their countless Land Before Time continuations. So it isn't a big surprise DreamWorks would join in too, albeit extremely briefly. And so, Joseph, King of Dreams resides as one of the more obscure titles from the studio, alongside their short-lived adult animated series Father of the Bride. Remember that? Joseph essentially acted as a prequel to the Prince of Egypt, explaining how the Hebrews ended up in Egypt. Based on the biblical story of Joseph and his many brothers, the movie does an okay job of telling the story, although the much lower budget means it lacks the grandeur of the Prince of Egypt. However, I feel this being a direct-to-video, it's a little unfair to compare it to its big-screen predecessor. My biggest problem with Joseph, King of Dreams is it's hard to find a character to sympathize with. We're meant to dislike the brothers for that treatment of Joseph, but it's not a little hard to see where they're coming from, with their father Jacob showing clear favoritism toward Joseph. It's amazing how much could have been avoided if the 11 sons had been treated equally. Very few characters come off well in this, including Joseph himself, when he later uses his position of power to scare his brothers. The other issue is the pacing. It's only 75 minutes long, and yet it somewhat drags as it goes through the story, so I wasn't entirely invested in this. The film also has songs, as expected, but I pretty much forgot them as soon as the movie finished. Joseph, King of Dreams does have its positive qualities, though. While the animation is about what you might expect from a direct-to-video title, the dream sequences are impressively done. Those are probably the highlights, as they're more allegorical than literal and allow the animators to go in some creative visual directions, with one dream being done in the style of a Vincent van Gogh painting. Joseph also does not shy away from the harsher aspects of the story. Of course, there is the brothers' cold-hearted selling of Joseph to slavery. There's also a scene where a captain's wife falsely accuses Joseph of assaulting her. One of two men Joseph encounters in prison is also killed off-screen. And when Joseph invites the Hebrews to settle down in Egypt, while it's framed as a joyous and happy ending, it's difficult not to think it was not the best idea in retrospect. So while obviously condensed, the film rather faithfully adapts the story as originally told in the book of Genesis in a way that's still compatible to a younger audience. So while Joseph, King of Dreams is an underwhelming film and not one I'm likely to revisit again, I think it's an acceptable way of introducing a child to this story. DreamWorks had planned on producing more biblical animated films, but they never happened for some reason. There are certainly some good ones, like Jonah and the Whale, Noah's Ark, and even Adam and Eve. If that's not enough story for a feature-length film, maybe an anthology film, or DreamWorks could produce a series for Netflix. Just some ideas. And thank you for your request, Ryan.